Hey everybody, today we're actually going to talk about the game Pot Limit Omaha. Now the reason why we're talking about this game is that we are actually playing a Pot Limit Omaha tournament in Hamilton, Victoria this Monday night, and some of my regulars wanted me to talk to you about the game, the strategies of the game, and some of the rules and how the betting and everything works. So here we go. So No Limit Omaha, Pot Limit Omaha is exactly the same when it comes to how many cards you get. So you get 4 cards. Now the difference between Pot Limit and No Limit Omaha or No Limit Hold'em is that you only can bet what's in the pot. So let's just do an example. So let's just say you're under the gun and the blinds are 100, 200. Now you want to raise this. Now in No Limit Omaha or No Limit Hold'em, you could raise to whatever you wanted really. But in Pot Limit, you can't do that. So what you can only do is you can only call the blinds plus your call of blinds, and that's what you can raise. So for example, 100, 200 blinds, you can bet 500. Why is that? Because you add the 100, the 200, and then your call of the big blind, which would be 500. Now, let's just say the next person after you wants to raise. They can't raise to 2,000, they can't raise to 3,000. What can they raise? So they've got to add the pot up. So they go your 500, the 200, and the 100. So what's that, 800? Can they raise 800? No, they can actually raise to 13 because they can also add on the call of the 500. So they could raise to 1,300. See where I'm coming from there? So you can add your call and chips to the pot to make the raise. Okay, now you can see with these examples that the pot can actually get quite large really quickly with Pot Limit Omaha. So this game is best played if you pot control a lot of the time. Now, there are a lot of opinions about what's the best hand for Pot Limit Omaha or Omaha in general. Now, most people will say it's ace, ace, king, king with the suits adding up. So for example, so you've got the ace of spades and the ace of clubs and the king of spades and the king of clubs, so that you've got flush draws as well as 2 high pairs. I don't necessarily think that's the best hand. My best hand that I think you can get is ace, ace, 10, jack, or 9, 10. And those ones add into the aces, like the same suit. So let's just say you've got ace of spades, ace of clubs, and you want the 10 of spades and the jack of clubs. That way you're covered on your flush draws on both 2 suits, and you've also got straight draws there. That's my opinion. But everybody will play this game separately, but that's what I think is the best starting hand. All right, now let's do an example here, and this will explain why you want to pot control all the time. So let's just say you've got the ace, ace, 10, jack, exactly the same how I said. So you've got 2 clubs, 2 spades, and you've got the aces. What would you do if the flop comes jack, queen, 10? What would you do? You're thinking, sweet, I've got 2 pair here. I've got aces. I've got aces in my hand, but then I've got jack and 10, so I've got 2 pair. Now notice that you have to use 2 cards of your 4 cards. Okay, this is where a lot of people get caught out. They think, oh yeah, if I've got all 4 suits, I'm covered with all the flushes. That's not the case at all. So it's queen, jack, 10, you think 2 pairs, that's great. Remember what I said beforehand, that you've got 2 pairs like 1 pair in No Limit Hold'em. So you're not actually that strong here. What beats you here? Queen, king beats you. Pocket jacks beat you. Even though you're catching a blocker, pocket jacks still beat you. Pocket 10s beat you. Pocket queens beat you. What else beats you here? 8, 9. Now, so the likelihood of them people having these hands is pretty strong. So your 2 pair isn't actually in that great a shape. Now, let's just say everyone checks it through and then the turn comes an ace. What do you have? Anybody that's saying, oh, I've got trips? You're correct. So you've got aces with the ace. Now what beats you? All those cards beat you, what beat you beforehand, except for the queens, the jacks, and the 10s, right? But then you now can add the queen king is more likely to beat you because they've got the straight draw. So see how even when you've got 2 pair, and even if you improve to trips still isn't that great in this card hand. It's not the greatest hand. A lot of the time you see Omaha, they win with flushes, they win with straights, they win with full houses. It's a much more action game. So you really need to make sure that you're aware that 1 pair, 2 pair, sometimes trips isn't gonna win at Showdown. Okay, so how do we stop us losing all our chips with these little hands. We pot control. For most of you that have watched these videos, you know what I'm talking about with pot control. But for the people that haven't, that's fine. Let's talk about it. So pot control is when you control what the pot is inflating to. So for example, with Pot Limit Omaha, you can do this because your opponent can only bet the pot. So if you're checking, they can only pot bet you. All right. So unless you've got a monster, a lot of the time it's best to check and let them do the action, all right? And then you can make the call on whether you think you can beat them or not. Okay. Where do people go wrong with Omaha? Like I said before, you need to use 2 cards. Okay. I've seen so many people think that they've got flushes, but they don't because they've only used one of their cards. For example, let's just say the flop comes 2, 7, 8 of spades, and you've got 1 spade in your hand and the rest. No point going for that flush because you can't get it. You have to have the 2 spades in your hand. So you've got to eliminate that. That's why you see a lot of these professional players, if they've got not 2 suited cards, they throw a lot of the time, especially when it comes to early parts of the tournament. So make sure you've got to get in your head, 2 cards in your hand have to be used. Okay. Also, another thing that gets people, they try and play every hand. They go, yep, no matter what, I want to see the flop. This is a great way to lose your chips because, as I said, Pot Limit Omaha can get quite big quite quickly. And once you start getting more chips and more chips in the pot, your hands are going to start looking better when you do flop the 1s and the 2 pairs. But these cards do not win a lot of the time. They are only good for bluff catchers. Okay, they are only good for bluff catchers. So you actually need to make sure that you're pot controlling. Okay, so that's basically how you play Pot Limit Omaha. That's some of the tips and strategies for you to actually win at this game. Now, if you're excited about this game, come down to Hamilton, Victoria. Come and play Monday night. It's going to be fantastic. And for all you regulars, I'll see you Monday night.